This story is nothing but pure evil. Oh my goodness. So I'm sure many of you guys haven't heard about this story because I barely heard about this story. What happened is absolutely heinous. It's nothing but pure evil, anti-black wickedness. That's what this is. Because in this story, what you have is 6 officers. This took place, I believe, in Mississippi, where officers have pled guilty to torturing 2 black men. Now, I want you to understand that these 2 black men did nothing. All they were guilty of is just being black. I kid you not. And these 6 officers took it upon themselves to torture them for no reason. How the story goes, because I was looking into it, and every paragraph got worse and worse and worse. So what has happened is that one of the officers' neighbor puts in a call. And they say, hey, there's 2 black guys at this white woman's residence, and it's suspicious. You know the typical, racist call. Oh, suspicious behavior. The same thing they got Elijah McClain for. Suspicious behavior. This is very suspicious, very suspicious. I'm surprised the person didn't call and say, they could possibly have a gun. I don't know, but you never know. They get this call in. Now, these officers, they call themselves the Goon Squad. Man, the police reform we need. Every single time I hear stories like this, it gets me absolutely livid at Democrats and absolutely livid at Republicans. Because white liberals don't care and white Republicans don't care. Because if they did, these stories like this would not be happening. They would cease to exist. But nevertheless, I digress. The Goon Squad is on a group chat. And they're like, hey, you want to do a mission? So they go out to this white woman's house, and they make sure to not be seen on the cameras. Upon entering the house, because they don't knock, they just barge right in. No warrant. Completely illegal, okay? Completely illegal entry. They barge right in. They see the 2 black men. Now, one of the black men was there helping and assisting the woman at the residence. The other one was staying there temporarily. These officers barge in and immediately start asking the 2 black guys, where are the drugs? I kid you not. This is all documented. They then ask him again. He shoots the wall and says, where are the drugs? Now the black man is like, yo, there are no drugs. Like, what are you talking about? They then go on to start tasering these 2 black men. Tasering and tasering and tasering and tasering. One of them finds a dildo in the other room and threatens to sexually assault them. He starts smacking them with the dildo and everything. Then you had the officer put one of the black men on his knees and puts the gun in his mouth and squeezes the trigger. Okay? Luckily for him, it doesn't kill him, but goes through his mouth, fracturing his jaw and going out of his neck. This isn't 1960s. This isn't the 1950s. This is happening in 2023. All right? So when you hear these ignorant white conservatives or just hear them spew this stupidity, right? What are you talking about? We're all Americans and, and black people have nothing to worry about. You guys have it good here. And then when you hear this ignorance, and juxtapose it with what is actually happening in present day. This is a real life story. So after they do this, they then throw them on the ground, start pouring alcohol and a syrup on them. Just weird, demonic behavior, okay? As I've said, a lineage of evil. That's what many of these individuals have, a lineage of evil. And this is the manifestation of that evil. Because that's how they feel. They feel many of these police officers are nothing more than just slave catchers. That's really what they are. They are not here to protect and serve us. Especially, they're not here to protect and serve anyone, to be honest with you, except the elites, except those who are in positions of power. They're not here to protect American citizens, and they sure as heck not here to protect black Americans, because they don't even view us as American citizens. Based off of this, they don't even view us as human. They're still treating us like cattle. After they do all this very perverse behavior and just cruel torturing of these 2 innocent black men, they then have them take a shower to erase the evidence. I kid you not. They start removing the shell casings and then try to create a story. in order, in order to put down on the paper, right, of what happened, what transpired. And they talk about how they were going to plant a gun. This is what law enforcement is talking about. After they just tortured these two black men. Talking about, hey, we're going to plant a gun, but instead they choose to use the BB gun they found and say, hey, he fired at me. And then they go and threaten the other officers. Two officers threaten the other four, talking about, hey, if you tell anyone, I'll kill you. This is law enforcement. I want you to understand how needed police reform is. I just don't know what to tell you. We've had incident after incident after incident after incident. Sure enough, these two black men are now suing. And I hope they win. Because, all the officers have pled guilty. I just have to, listen, I'm not making it racial. I'm just making an observation. Can you please tell me any incident where if the tables were flipped, we just flipped the races, where it was 6 black officers and 2 white men. And these black officers were torturing these 2 white men just because they were white. And then try to cover it up. Can you please show me any incident like this? Because I haven't found any. I've yet to find one. And during this torturing, they're calling them a whole bunch of racial slurs. Calling them a whole bunch of names and racial slurs. This is an inferiority complex. That's what this very much stems from. It's an inferiority. It's not about white supremacy. It's about white inferiority that some of these monsters and these evil, wicked people have. So we need more black people in law enforcement. We need more black people in the judicial system. We need more attorneys, more lawyers. All right? That's what we need. We need more black people on the juror. So, because if we don't, you're going to give power to these monsters. That's what you're going to do. You're going to give power to people who do not like you. That's what you're going to do. And that's why I say all officers are corrupt. You can't show me one good officer. You can't show me one. Because the good officers are suppressed by the corrupt officers around them. That's what happens. One bad apple spoils a whole bunch. So when you have these ignorant white conservatives on the right, or the bootlicking Sambos, or the conservatives who constantly are jerking off law enforcement, back the blue and everything, it's so un-American, I don't know what to tell you. It's the most un-American thing I can imagine. The most un-American anti-black thing I can imagine when they speak so highly of a system that is slaughtering their citizens. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think. Whether or not you believe, look, there's just only a couple bad, okay, all right? Majority of them are good. You have to understand that. That's what you need to understand, and not all of them are bad. Or if you don't believe, listen, all it takes is one, bruh. That's all it takes. All it takes is one corrupt department, one corrupt officer, 5 corrupt officers, and then it goes on and on. Because what it leads to is the wall of silence. Because these officers are now in fear of their life. Some of them may have families. So it's like, hey, do I jeopardize my family's well-being and our financial stability in order to report on the corruptness of this cop or this sergeant or whatnot? They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. So the corruption ensues. And who gets the short end of the stick? Black Americans. We get the short end of the stick, and then it trickles down to everyone else. All right? You don't remember Daniel Schaefer? Y'all didn't do anything about Daniel Schaefer. Hunter Britton? Y'all didn't do anything about that kid. 16-year-old, knocked out, done, game over. Officer gets 1 year. This perverse infatuation with law enforcement really stems from an anti-black racist mindset, because they have promoted this belief that black people, bad guy, criminal. And for many non-black people, that's what they believe. So anytime they think of law enforcement, they don't think of themselves being targeted. They think, oh, they're going to get the bad black guy. They're going to get the bad black woman. And it's that type of racism that is going to screw them in the end anyway. And it just comes full circle time and time and time again. But the racist behavior it shields them, it blinds them to any type of change up until the point it's too late. Anyways, if you happen to disagree with this video, I mean, if you do, call in. It's as simple as that, bruh. Most of you cowards won't, because you're intellectually inferior and you're just shriveled up cretins. That's what many of you racists are. Just cowards at the end of the day. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you did. Please feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe. Oh, that fun stuff. Till next time, guys, be amazing. And black people, stay strapped. Now, I want you to understand that these two black men did nothing.